Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hi, I'm Manisha Lat Gupta from Axis Bank, and today I'm here at SP Jain to see what the students have put together in response to our case study of Axis Bank going to Bharat. I'm looking forward to a very sharply defined marketing, product, and distribution strategy coming up from this team.
Hi, I'm Shiva Krishnamurthy from Hindustan Unilever. Delighted to be here at SP Jain for Lime. I am looking forward to quality over quantity from the teams.
Hi, I'm Anand Rangaswamy from Storyboard, and what I'll be looking for is some real hard research. I would like to see a competitive analysis which is different from what you'd find on Google in 10 seconds.
Hello and welcome to Season 5 of Lessons in Marketing Excellence. I'm Pavni Mitr and I'm at the campus of the reigning champions of Lime, SP Jain Institute of Management and Research in Mumbai. Inaugurated in 1981 by Margaret Thatcher, SP Jain has been consistently ranked among the top 10 B schools in the country. Its big differentiator though is its international campuses in Dubai, Singapore and Sydney. This premier institute has over the years become famous for its unconventional courses like Geeta in Management and Abhyuday, a program where its students coach and mentor underprivileged children on a weekly basis. SP Jain also boasts of being one of the consistent and better performers in Lime. After coming third in Season 1, it slipped to the fourth spot in Season 2. It was back in the finals in Season 3 where it finally stood third. But it was this team in Lime 4 that got its pricing strategy right for the affordable housing challenge posed by HDFC and lifted the cup. Will SP Jain repeat history this year? Let's wait and watch. The challenge for SP Jain comes from India's third largest private bank, Axis Bank. The 22-year-old bank is looking to create a stronger footing in rural India, which is dominated by microfinance organizations, cooperative and Grameen banks. With government schemes like NREGS, agriculture loan waivers and decreasing dependency on farm income, categories like FMCG, auto and telecom are seeing higher growth in rural India. The challenge for SP Jain is to develop a business, distribution and communication strategy to operate profitably in this rural market. The past few years have seen the bank take key initiatives to penetrate the rural market by introducing products and services like Krishi savings and current accounts and Kisan power loans. To create more visibility and awareness, the bank is also taken to marketing strategies like rural bank campaigns that communicates the importance of banking and responsible financing.
We are looking to actually expand the bank and its franchise into rural India. And the case study really is around what should be the business model for us to get into rural India and how should we differentiate ourselves there and how do we serve that customer base profitably.
So let's meet our two teams from SP Jain, the Jaeger Bombs and Globally Desi. Are you guys nervous or confident about tomorrow?
We are confident, but yes, there are nerves.
And what about you guys?
A bit of both, but we're mainly excited to be on this show.
Okay, that's nice to hear. Before we get into the presentation and all of that, we're going to have some fun today. Your case study is about Axis Bank going rural, right? So your job today is to go to a slum and find people who have bank accounts. You get 10 points for every male, 20 points for every female and 30 points for every person who has an Axis Bank account. And the team that gets the maximum points wins and you get to decide who goes first tomorrow. Sounds good enough?
Great.
Sounds
Great.
easy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not easy, but
Not easy for sure.
Okay, so your time starts now.
आपके पास बैंक अकाउंट है?
Indian bank.
ट्रेड भारतीय बैंक। वो क्या होता है? कौन से बैंक? Sorry, अभी busy है। You just have to say yes or no for us. आपका बैंक अकाउंट है?
नहीं है।
महाराष्ट्र.
स्टेट बैंक का है।
सेविंग अकाउंट है.
एक्सिस बैंक।
Who do we ask? स्टेट बैंक
अकाउंट तो है लेकिन उसमें पैसा नहीं।
बैंक ऑफ महाराष्ट्र मंडल तालुका रत्नागिरी जिला में कमी।
आपका बैंक अकाउंट है? कौन सा वाला?
ये अपना
पकड़ क्यों ले रखा है?
मित्र का मालूम होगा, मुझे मालूम नहीं।
विजय बैंक।
मेरा देना बैंक में है।
एक्सिस बैंक।
Okay, so both our teams are back. How was your experience? Yegabom, you guys first.
It was pretty good. It was quite hectic, but we had a good time. We did good teamwork. Three of us managed to get quite a few numbers.
And what about you guys? Did you guys feel like rural marketers?
Yeah, so in our team, the thing is that these two don't know Hindi. So it was just me running around asking, bank hai, bank account hai, bank account hai. But it was fun. We managed pretty good numbers. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so Global Desi, you guys went to Ville Parle slum and you didn't find anyone from Axis Bank, right? And you guys went to the Gilbert Hills slum and you found two people from Axis Bank. Okay, so your scores are 670 and you guys are slightly ahead with 700. So I think it's the Axis Bank account holders.
I think that made the difference.
So the winning team decides who goes first. You guys have made your decision?
Yes, we have. We would want Global Desi to go first.
And is there a reason for that?
I think we're fond of the Indian cricket team. They like chasing and, we like chasing too.
With that, it's time for a short break. On the other side, the two teams make their presentations and we find out which of them makes it to the semi-finals. That's up in a bit.
My favorites are the Global Desis because I think their solution is more implementable and real-time. I think they're going to win this time.
My personal favorites are the Yagabombs because the team is a complete blend of not just people from marketing but from other specializations too.
Welcome back. You're watching Season 5 of Lessons in Marketing Excellence and we are at the SP Jain campus in Mumbai. Our two teams, Globally Desi and Yagabombs, are all geared up to make their presentation. The team that does win today qualifies for the semi-finals, wins 50,000 rupees and a fast-track route to the pre-placement interview round at Hindustan Unilever. Before we move on to the presentations, let's meet our jury. From CNBC TV 18, Anant Rangaswamy. From Hindustan Unilever, we have Regional Brand Director of Beverages South Asia, Shiva Krishnamurthy, and our brand mentor today is Manisha Latgupta, the CMO for Axis Bank. Welcome, judges. So let's call our first team, Team Globally Desi, on stage to make their presentation. Team, you will have 3 minutes to make your case. At the end of 3 minutes, we will sound a buzzer indicating the end of time. That will be followed by a question and answer session with the judges. The floor is open to you. Your time starts now.
A very good evening. In the current market scenario, micro savings, micro credit, and micro insurance have the least penetration in rural India via formal banking. There is a complete lack of trust, fear of losing money, and poor financial planning, especially for ceremonies and emergencies. Based on these insights, we propose our first product, One Account, Two Purse, that consists of two purses, a cash purse from which money can be withdrawn on demand, and a savings purse from which funds can only be withdrawn after a secondary level of verification. The product complements the seasonality of income, safeguards against theft, and inculcates the habit of saving. Interest premium and lucky draws will be an added incentive for customers to maintain a threshold balance. Our next product, Joint Family Joint Insurance, provides coverage for joint families, which constitute 70% of rural households. The purchase drivers will be a reduction in the premium charge and scholarship schemes for children of insured families.
We found that formal banking is perceived as intimidating by the rural population. Thus, we propose non-traditional kiosks that provide assistance for transactions and a welcoming atmosphere. For cost optimization, we recommend KYC linkage to Aadhaar card. A major challenge faced by banks is high distribution cost, because of which 82% of villages don't even have a bank within a 2-kilometer radius. Our 6-fold distribution strategy focuses on 1. Shared infrastructure model, which allows increased reach at a lower cost. 2. Branch on wheels model that covers 4 villages and addresses the need to deposit daily surplus earnings. 3. User-friendly low-cost ATMs with local language communication. 4. USSD model that makes banking services easily available on mobile phones. 5. Arming business correspondents with micro ATMs to deliver increasing convenience. 6. A promoter model for bank SCG linkage.
Moving on, during our survey, we observed that the rural non-affluent segment has very poor awareness levels about Axis Bank. Our communication strategy focuses on increasing financial literacy and brand awareness. In the pre-launch stage, we propose partnering with opinion leaders to build trust and initial customer acquisition. Promotion in agricultural magazines and local newspapers with catchy taglines will help increase brand recall. In the launch stage, we propose 1. Axis Bank Se Poochiye, a radio show to improve financial literacy. 2. Sponsoring store signs and local festivals to increase brand presence. 3. Live demonstrations of Axis Bank products through mobile vans. 4. Short films and street plays to educate the customer about the importance of savings and insurance. Axis Bank can either wait for the current bottom of pyramid to become the next middle class or jump into the vast untapped rural market. We say the time is right to take the dive.
From a marketing strategy and a brand positioning point of view, your brand positioning statement here looks very generic to me. It could actually, if I just replace the name Axis Bank with any other bank, it could very well be some other bank as well. So what's so unique about the brand positioning statement, and did you consider what urban marketing strategies the bank is following, and how do you really bridge the two?
The positioning that we proposed, we've also come up with specific positioning for the products that we are proposing, because the products that we are proposing are very unique, and we hope that with the positioning of those products, Axis Bank will be able to differentiate itself not only from the other competitors but also from what it is doing in the urban areas. But in terms of how a rural person, when he goes to the urban area, would feel about the brand change, we've not changed Axis Bank's main positioning, but we focus mainly on the product. So one of the products that we are proposing, one product, two purse, one account, two purse. It's very similar to the Encash 24 product that Axis Bank has.
Because it is such a huge investment, did you have a state-wise prioritization of where we should start and where we should end, and what should be the rollout really?
We did have a state-wise prioritization. In the case study, it was specifically mentioned that currently Axis Bank presence is higher in 5 states. That is Punjab, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Gujarat. So what we propose is, when you go out to the market with our products and our recommended communication and distribution strategies, you begin with the states that Axis Bank already has a very good presence in, because it will help increase brand presence and it will help increase in conversion of accounts. And then we can probably concentrate on states which have a higher level of average income compared to the other states.
One of the issues that banks have, and I think you touched upon it, is trust or credibility. Can you tell me the biggest thing that you're doing, one big thing that you're doing to address it?
The biggest point that we are leveraging upon is building a relationship with the opinion leaders in a village. Because what we observed is that if the opinion leader approves our product, approves our brand, then the villagers take it as the brand is trustworthy. So I would say that building a relationship with opinion leaders is the most important point.
And who are these opinion leaders?
It could be panchayat heads, it could be the sarpanch.
It would also include the IAS officials and the other government officials at high-level positions.
But why would they do that? I mean, there are tens of banks out there. They are nationalized banks, which definitely have a higher presence with the bureaucrats and with the government. Why would they choose to be brand ambassadors of Axis Bank?
So the basic assumption here is that any government official or any sarpanch is interested in the development of a village, in the development of his village. So if we're making a village bank through our proposed channels, then it'll be a good idea to be a brand ambassador for Axis Bank if there's nothing else there.
One of your recommendations is that you go to religious leaders. Do you think that's okay for a brand to do? To go to religious leaders, so who do they go to? Swami, Mullah, who do you go to?
So we mainly proposed associating with the rural leaders to pull crowds.
Religious leaders.
Why don't you say yes or no?
Is it a good idea? Do you think a lever should get involved with religion, or a Pepsi should get involved in religion? Should they? Should they is the question.
It might not be the best option. Because it might lead to controversies, but also to pull crowds and to make sure that your message is reaching out to a wider audience. This is one of the channels that might be considered.
So can I get a porn star instead?
No, sir.
Why?
Because that's not socially acceptable.
So religious leaders, Hindu religious leaders, socially acceptable to a Muslim or a Christian?
So what we are proposing is not the brand not getting involved in the religious aspect of it. What we are proposing is, in certain villages, the religious leader may also be the opinion leader. And in that case, the brand need not get involved in the religious part of it, but in the upliftment part of it, it has to get involved.
Wow, that was some tough cracking. It's time for a short break here on Lime. On the other side, Team Jaeger Bombs makes its presentation and we find out which of the two make it to the semi-finals. That's up in a bit.
I think we delivered pretty well. We finished within time and our content was pretty good. But we got grilled in the Q&A round. Doesn't matter, let's wait for the results.
In terms of the presentation, I think we gave a lot of choices to the bank as such. But maybe, a couple of questions there which we are not anticipated.
We don't know how the other team is presenting, so let's see.
Welcome back. You're watching Lessons in Marketing Excellence Season 5 and we are at the SP Jain campus in Mumbai. It's now time for our second team, Team Jaeger Bombs, that won the challenge yesterday to make its presentation. Team Jaeger Bombs, you will have 3 minutes to make your presentation. At the end of that, we will sound the buzzer indicating the end of time. That will be followed by a Q&A with the judges. The floor is open to you. Your time starts now.
Good evening. Axis Bank wishes to establish itself as the bank of choice for rural India. To accomplish this, we need to address the right products, distribution, and communication strategy. We start with the product mix. The rural consumer durable market has been booming at 30% CAGR, but most products have very low penetration. Consumers lack affordable financing options to make spot payments with interest being as high as 30%. An interesting insight, most women prefer loans for income-generating products like sewing machines over personal loans. Hence, we propose Axis Griha Samriddhi Loans, a consumer durable loan for the aspiring rural India, offering loans up to 60,000. Axis Bank can also collaborate with consumer durable companies and their dealerships on a cost-sharing model.
Moving on to our next product, Indian farmers experience large variations in their income due to high dependence on rains, sometimes even losing all their crops. We propose Krishi Suraksha, a monsoon-linked crop insurance scheme. So how does it work? On deviation from expected rainfall, an immediate payout is transferred from a third-party insurer to the farmer's Krishi savings account. Axis Bank earns a fee on the premium paid. The product can also be promoted through Airtel IFFCO's Kisan Sanchar. When combined with Krishi savings account, Power Track and Kisan Power, it makes Axis Bank a one-stop solution for the rural farmer.
Moving to our last product, secondary research shows that 62% of the rural youth opted out of education to earn a household income. They have a high affinity towards vocational education but are unable to finance the course. We recommend EduServices, an easy loan facility for vocational education, completing Axis Bank's current education loan portfolio in rural India.
Apart from individual delivery mechanisms, we recommend a common distribution platform through two initiatives. First, the Axis Village Ambassador, who acts as a single point of contact for all transactions. With the help of a mobile VAS application or through internet banking, the ambassador can assist the consumers with their banking needs. Second, bank linkage with NGOs or micro-lending organizations. Partnering with organizations which comply with stringent screening criteria, minimum percentage of repayment, reach and loans disbursed. A case in hand is Milap, with over 500 SSGs and 100% repayment record.
Having the right products, business model, and distribution is not enough to win this complex market. Hence, we present the Mitr campaign. Mitr is a friendly, knowledgeable person who wishes to instill trust in the villagers' mind and relieve them of their apprehensions about financial services.
Mitr will introduce himself and build a rapport through exciting outdoor, print, and radio advertising. Having captured their interest, Mitr will then visit feeder villages. He aims to bring about an attitudinal change by educating and engaging potential customers through interactions and innovative simulation games. In all, Axis Mitr wants to become synonymous with reliable banking solutions in rural India. क्योंकि जिंदगी की हाईवे पे कोई अकेला नहीं पड़ता. Thank you.
Tell me one barrier or trigger that you have identified to go about your task of growing Axis business. Then give me one way to address whichever barrier or trigger you have identified, and give me one action that will deliver against whatever strategy you have unlocked.
There's no attitudinal change that has come about in a rural market such that they come and they start trusting the private banks. So the main issue here is trust, gaining their trust. How do we plan to mitigate that? How do we plan to gain their trust? Is by our Mitr campaign. Mitr is a unique campaign. It's a large-scale campaign. It has a lot of parts to it. It has innovative simulation games which are going to help the rural consumers overcome these apprehensions and trust Axis Bank. Now, the simulation games are such that we want to put them in an environment where they would face these apprehensions, where they would face the issues that they would if they would actually start looking into a private bank. And then once they come over it in that game, they would definitely want to come in and gain a vote for Axis Bank, basically.
You know, what's the trust issue in borrowing money? I can imagine that there's a trust issue in depositing money because you're worried whether the bank will sort of not return it to you. But if you're borrowing money, I mean, where's the trust issue?
Right. So, ma'am, this Mitr campaign, it's not just taking these 3 products ahead. It's taking the entire Axis portfolio ahead.
No, I thought we'd agreed that you are going with an asset approach. That's something you guys acknowledged. So you can't backtrack on that now.
Definitely not.
So you are going with an asset-led approach. You are going to basically target lending. And if that's what you're going to do, then the barrier of trust and earning people's trust, I don't think is a top-of-mind barrier. You've probably, sort of in the match the following, pick the wrong barrier for the wrong strategy.
If you ask us, constraining ourselves to only an asset-based model approach, the biggest constraint for us, the biggest challenge is collections, the repayment and the collection part, and recoveries. And how we plan to, again, tackle this issue first is through instilling in them what is the need for repaying loans. Now, Gayatri mentioned that the simulation game actually has a lot of conditions. And one of them is also telling them, if you do not repay your loan today, you might not be eligible for a loan tomorrow. Small intricacies like that. And that's where when you simulate such kind of environment, make them think that such a scenario could happen. What are the repercussions of not repaying? That's when we're seeding in ideas into their mind and educating them.
Your Mitr is a man. In this entire correspondence, you've been saying he, I've not heard a she. Is that a considered decision to have a male Mitr and male business correspondence and male everything? Would it be easier for a reliable woman? Would the villagers or rural India trust a reliable woman more?
Well, the reliable women concept has already been implemented by quite a few FMCG companies across India. So when we spoke to people, when we say banking industry, the villagers have this insight that he would be a man, he would be well dressed, he would be someone who can speak in English but can also very freely converse in Hindi. So that's why we came up with the concept of having a male mascot.
Team are requested to step outside while the jury deliberates and pens its scores.
I think we had a great time, great presentation and some really good questions from the jury.
I think the jury did a good job of grilling us. It was fun in all, a very unique experience. So I'm glad that I had this.
So I'm going to ask the very participative audience here, who do you think won? Okay, how many of you think globally Desi won? That's almost half, if I'm not wrong. And how many of you think Jaeger bombs won? Okay, that's a slightly higher number. And the audience is correct. Jaeger bombs, you guys have won the campus round at SP Jain. Congratulations. That brings us to the end of the campus round at SP Jain. Join us next week where we will be at IIM Indore. Until then, thanks for watching.